for her to hear how much we loved her, for her to feel that we loved her, for her to see that truly we really appreciated her life. And during my exhibition this year, in April at Allianz, she was so sad that she could not make it. And she kept on apologizing. She was like, oh, Maggie, I didn't come for your exhibition. I was like, it's okay, Margareta. And she kept on telling me, oh, the car was this. I told her, Margareta, it's okay. I know you really wanted to come, and I know that your spirit was there. So this, on the 8th, Margareta passed away on 8th of August. And on that 8th at midnight, I got several missed calls from Margareta. And I didn't understand why she was calling that late at night. And I was working late that day. So when I was going to bed, I checked my phone and I was wondering, why is Margareta calling me so many times? So I decided, okay, let me answer her. So I called and I asked her, Margareta, what is happening? So she said, oh, Maggie, I wanted to let you know that I'm in Hosi. So I asked her, what happened? She said, I couldn't walk, so they brought me to hospital. So I was like, Margareta, finally, now you get to rest. And then she said, I'll be here for a while. I just want you to know that I'm here in case you want to come. So I was like, Margareta, today is nane, I can't make it because I don't know how the roads are going to be. But I'll make sure that I come tomorrow. And she said, okay, Maggie, you'll find me here. And a few hours later that day, I was told that Margareta has left us. And then I just kept on wondering, Margareta, I mean, how was she thinking about calling? And it just dawned on me that even in that bed, she was still thinking about her friends, her networks, and just wanting them to know that she's here just in case you want to come and visit. And for me, I choose to think of Margareta as this giant, this really special person who has really put a mark in the art scene because we have really felt Margareta's impact as a visual art community. And I want to thank the Migwi family for sharing Margareta. Margareta was our friend as a visual arts community. She was our marketer and our publicity champion. And she made sure that people knew about us. And we choose to celebrate her. We really choose to celebrate her. Asante. Oh, one more thing. There's a time when we were celebrating Margareta at Banana Hill. We had an envelope that we wanted to give her. So we had decided as the committee who had organized that to give it to her on a later date. So on that later date, we decided to go somewhere and have fish. As we were having fish, sasa tumeweka hizo mabones ziende. Margareta said, don't throw the bones, I have cats. And then I was thinking, who asks for bones za fish ziwekwe kando, you know? And I just reached because I always eat the fish head. I was like, I wish I knew I would not really have fear-cut that head like that. But it was so heartwarming to see that she really wanted her cats to partake of that feast as well. So Margareta was really special. Asante.
Thank you, Maggie. Are you also Margareta? Ama weni Maggie too? Okay, so thank you so much. Wow, what great moment. Allow me to welcome the Kenya Arts Diary. They have been referred to earlier. Will be followed right by Orator Collective. So Niketa, if you could come on up right now. Karibu sana. As she comes up, let me just read this for you. Isaiah 41:10 is what is holding me right now. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious hand. Welcome. You will welcome Milena after. Okay.
Hello. Is that okay? I'm going to try and fill those very big shoes that everybody has kept out for us. My name is Nikita, and I'm an artist and current key driver of the Kenya Arts Diary since 2021. I met Margaretta very recently compared to some of you. It was sometime in 2018, during the time when she used to zoom around on the boda bodas and shock somebody like me, and be in 10 places in some days, in one day, as some of you might remember. I had reached out to ask her to cover me, like every artist does, when I was participating in a group exhibition. And she missed it due to her crazy schedule. But she made a point to introduce herself and visit me at my home and studio later. She was so full of energy and curiosity and encouragement, and it dispersed all my doubts about being on this journey so late in life. She covered my art and later my garden in separate articles and encouraged me to pursue the creative dream, and always showed up for me thereafter. That's who she was to all the visual artists in the room, I'm guessing. She never had a discouraging word. She held space for us, and she let her curiosity bring out the source of what is driving the artist's work so that she could accurately convey it in her articles. We had engaging conversations. She was a friend and a mentor. I pursued my inquiry about why the diary wasn't available after the pandemic, and she skillfully responded by putting us, a very small team, together at the time, which has now grown to include the Go Down, Milena, and others. And with the support of Nani Cruz, we somehow managed to revive this treasure and are now in the midst of producing next year's edition, the progress of which she asked us about only when she was in hospital. The grace with which she dealt with her painful situation was admirable, and we will remember her strong spirit fondly. We hope to do justice to her indomitable spirit as we produce next year's edition in honor of her. And Milena will say some words as her tribute.
Hello. Let me put on my glasses so I can see what I'm reading. Hi. My name is Milena. I met Margaretta around the same time as Nikita, and yes, had the second year of working with her for the Kenya Arts Diary. Anyway, let me start with a short poem by Emily Dickinson that reminds me of Margaretta's spirit. And it says, "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped me. The carriage held but just ourselves, and immortality." Yeah, as I said, in the last 2 years, as part of the team of the Kenya Arts Diary, I was lucky enough to spend quite a substantial amount of time with Margaretta, sifting through the submissions, always then going back and forth. Margaretta looking at me going, "So, what do you think? I'm not so sure about that. Let's go back. Let's do it again." Yes, and it was incredible how much it opened my eyes to learn to look at things differently, because being an artist yourself, maybe you're sometimes a little bit in your own little world. So it helped me to see a small portion of what she would see every day. Anyway, and also to realize how much art, the art world, all the artists were her life and her passion. My husband and I were blessed to be able to see her on the evening before her passing. And the conversation was all about what needs to be done. Send me the information, send me a WhatsApp. What is that information? I can't remember. Send it to me, don't forget. So she was just planning on, she said, when I get out of here, we need to do this, this, and this, and make sure you're there. Don't go on safari. I want you to be there for me. So in that spirit, we will work on and hopefully be in a position to put into practice what she had wished us to do. As she had such a profound impact on the Kenyan art world, her spirit will live on, and I'll finish with a short poem by Khalil Gibran. Life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond. And like seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. To Margaretta and her dreams that live on. Thank you.
Thank you, Niketa and Milena. And now let us welcome the former CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center, Agan Odero, to speak for
Orature Collective.
Good evening. My name is Agan Odero Agan, and I'm here to give a tribute on behalf of some 8 colleagues who worked for a long time with the late Margaretta Wa Gacheru. These 8 colleagues come from a collective called the Orature Collective. And they comprise 1, Dr. Mshai Mwangola, Ms. Mweni Lundi, Honorable Abubakar Zain Abubakar, Dr. Kawive Wambua, Ms. Salma Kulola Mwangola, and lastly myself, Agan Odero Agan. These 8 colleagues have worked within the arts and culture sector in this country for the last a combined number of years nearing between 75 to 80 years. So the first thing that I want to bring to this gathering this evening is to say that they were privileged to have had the opportunity to know Margaretta Wa Gacheru away from the galleries, away from the newspaper pages where she did reviews and critiques, because they were lucky enough to have been members of a transition between the creatives of 1970s in this country through to 80s, because most of these colleagues, they are aged 55 years and above, and they were the next generation that kind of came into the scene in the Kenyan creative art scene when those who were in here during the 70s, during those days of Kamiritu, the Ngugis, and the struggle for the theater, were easing off. So they've known her from the 1980s through to the 90s until the turn of the millennium. And because of that, they were capable of engaging Margaretta away from what people know her as a writer, especially in terms of the art scene. We worked together in areas that were interrogating arts movements and cultural groupings and ideas that have been part of the contestation of the art scene in this country from the 70s to 80s. The Orature Collective works within the confluence of artistry, research, advocacy, and policy of the arts and culture. Margaretta did a lot within that which is not known to the public, because most of that work is contestations within that. Among the many people who intellectually has